Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jam and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Clearly, today's video is chatting with you and doing a look about the brand new brand palette, the whole shebang. Mad Witch Cosmetics, Celestial Collective, and the Chance palette. If you've been around for a minute, you'll know that this is the first product from Not Your Basic Steph here on YouTube. Her brand new company, brand. She has been wanting to do this for a long time, I guess, and finally got it done. So, she is bestest besties with Erica Conger, also here on the YouTubes. I'll link everybody that I mentioned in the comment section or in the description box. And Erica and I and Shawnee are all very good friends, and I found Steph through Erica and started watching her videos, and she is just lovely. She seems like a lovely human. She does really fun makeups, and she said she was going to send me the palette, and I was really excited about that. I don't get PR from anyone, and since she's a brand owner and she's sending it to me, technically it's PR. So I'm really excited. We're going to just get into the meat of the video. I'm going to insert some B-roll here that I took when I first got this, prior to sticking my fingers in it. This palette is pretty darn neutral with beautiful multi-chrome and regular shimmer shades. I have used some of these. I've created 2 looks so far with this palette, so this will be my 3rd look. At the end, I'll insert the clips from the other 2 videos I filmed so you could see. I'm trying to do kind of a wide variety-ish, if you can do that in 3 looks, of what this palette can do. So at the moment, there's only 3 shades I haven't used. So we're gonna use at least 2, possibly all 3 today. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the shade A Shot. Whew, that is nice and deep. And that's gonna go out here. This is the only matte I haven't used yet. So obviously this was the one for today. And I think for Steph's brand, any, I guess, new brand, it makes sense to start with something that is more neutral. I feel like that appeals to many people, as opposed to like super colorful palettes maybe have a smaller customer base. Wow. Anyway, I will let you in on a little spoiler straight out of the gate. I'm not mad at this palette. And when you see the looks, and hopefully the finished look today, you'll completely understand why. But just these shades are so nice. I feel like, you know, if I'm being honest, which I'm going to because that's just how I'm made, these mattes are pretty basic matte shades. I'm gonna go with a slightly fluffier brush and just start blending this up into my transition area, starting out here. So that's where the most pigment gets laid down, and then I can take what's left and what's I gonna say? Oh, standard mattes, which is great. I mean, the beauty community, the people who create eyeshadow formulas have really, I feel like at this point, kind of mastered a good matte formula, and I think most brands are doing that. Obviously, they're different from brand to brand, but a good matte isn't overly difficult. It's when you get into shimmers and tricky shades, I think that it kind of gets a little bit more complicated. Having zero experience in the production of makeup, you know, I can speak with some authority on this. But you know, just from playing with eyeshadows for, you know, the majority of my life, you kind of get a feel for how things are going. You know what I mean? So this is such a nice shade. Obviously, my face is not done yet, so I can clean up any mess that I make, but I can tell you there has been very little fallout issues with the matte shades. It's really pretty impressive. And if this is not your first video, you know that I'm pretty heavy-handed playing with a matte eyeshadow. So that's saying something. I'm gonna go in and adjust that shape in a minute. I really want to get into this shimmer shade. So let me just clean off my brush. Wow, talk about not prepared at all. All right, I should show you. The first shade I used is this matte called A Shot, and now I want to use this one called Anticipation. Yes, it looks to be a pretty nice shimmery turquoisey shade, but I think it's more than that. It also seems a little bit green, but also a little purple. So you will have seen the swatches of this already. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm going in with my Singe Beauty E01, and I'm just getting that on my brush. And my brush is damp from cleaning it off on a wet cotton round thingy, but it's not like super duper wet. See, straight on, that's looking green, but in the pan, it matches my dress. So I think once this gets built up and in different lighting, it's going to be different colors. Let's just add a little, oh, this is nice. This is very nice. Wow. All right. Just going to keep going in and getting more and piling it on. It's gonna go across my entire lid. I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, but I think I figured it out now. That is so pretty. Holy moly. Alright, again, just still piling. I'm gonna bring it up past my crease because my eyelids are super duper hooded, and if I don't bring it up, it disappears when I look straight ahead. So this is too pretty for a disappearing act. Oh, that's so nice. Look at that. I want to add just a bit more. Bring it up just a little higher. I can go back in with the matte shade and adjust and fix and futz, but I feel like, yeah, that's what I needed to do. Oh, that's so pretty. Do you love it? I love it. All right, I'm gonna go back in with my little brush into A Shot and just boop over the edge where the shimmer meets the matte shade. I will probably go back and forth a couple of times once I'm done filming this portion, just to make sure it's nice and blended. Here's what I'm thinking I maybe need to do is to use, excuse me, a twist of fate right here as kind of a layering on top of that green shade, add a little sparkle, I don't know, maybe some dimension. Seems like it might be a good idea. The question is, do I use my finger or a brush? Let's go with, I'm gonna use my rougher number 2 and see what that does. I'm just kind of, oh, that picked up really well. Okay, this is just a dry, natural hair. And I'm going to, I don't think I'm gonna swipe or anything. I'm just adding that on. I don't even know if you can see any difference. I'm just gonna add a bit more. I feel like you can see a difference. Okay, I'm going to quickly whack that turquoisey shade on my left eye and then come back and show you what it looks like compared to this eye with Twist of Fate over the turquoise. That way we can see like very clearly if it was a good move or not. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I just put Anticipation on my left eye. So let me scoot you in a little bit and see if you can see a difference. Obviously, I won't know until I'm editing, but in the mirror, my right eye just looks like a little bit more dimensional and different color greens. I don't know, again, we'll see when I'm editing, but I'm gonna drop everything, I can just feel it. I really like how this is looking. It never occurred to me to try a brush like this with these eyeshadows. That is interesting. Sometimes I just am very, very slow on the uptake. That is so pretty. Okay, I am going to go, wait, do I want to be done with that? Or, I think I'm going to stick with the shade A Shot on my fluffy brush and just, I think, bring it up a little higher super gently. Like I am barely brushing my eye with the tip of this brush. Just bringing that shade in a little farther and up a little higher for a more cohesive look. I think that works. So I'm going to go off camera, do all the things I normally do, liner, probably some lashes, the whole shebang, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. We can chat about what I think. I'll show you the other 2 looks that I did and we can wrap this up. All right, I'm back and the look is done. Let me scoot you in for an up close reconnoiter at the eyes. I cannot wait to see what these eyes look like, the eyeshadow looks like when I'm editing, because man, it looks so good. I think this look is pretty cool. On the lower lash line, I just used the same matte shade called A Shot on the outer, and then for the inner third of the lower lash line, I just used this bright green Twist of Fate. And then, you know, that was on the lid with the bright green on top, and then that is the matte I used. So how about I walk you through the next two looks that I did, or the first two looks that I did rather, and then we can have a discussion about my thoughts, and at the end of the video I can tell you what's on my face, so it's very, very minimum. I underpainted again. So okay, let's talk about the first look that I did. Okay, for this look I went in with a moment. I wanted this to be wha-bam, in your face, super dark, and I used opportunity to blend that out a little bit and then hope to further blend through the transition area and then venture on the first half, and the time is now on the second half of my lid. That shade definitely applied better with, and Jackie Boy came in of course, with a finger, and then I just blended the edges with my Singe Beauty E01. And here you can see up close a reconnoiter of the eyes. So I do have some thoughts and we'll get to them in just a minute. Let me walk you through the next look real quick. For this look, I wanted to go in with possibility all through the transition area and then destiny through the transition slash crease, and then it says promise, but it's actually risk that went on my lid all over. And then to deepen up and add contrast, I used destiny again on the outer corner and through the transition slash crease area. And on the inner corner, I used the shade Promise. Promise is a really nice inner corner shade because it's so bright and lovely. I really thought this look was fantastic. I liked wearing it, I liked doing it. So let's talk about what I think of the shadows specifically and overall. Overall, I think the mattes are great. I had watched, I want to say it was Steph's Beauty Stash, and she said that the matte shades are a bit tricky to blend out. So in the first look, I didn't fuss too much with it because I knew I was going for like wha-bam. I wanted it dark and I wanted to see what these shades had to offer. But for the second look, because I didn't want quite so much drama on my eyes, I went in with Possibility, which is this white shade. On me, it's not a shade. It's the not whitest white I've ever seen in an eyeshadow, but it is absolutely fantastic for blending out. And like I said, because I wanted the Destiny shade to be lighter through my transition area, I think it worked really well. So I'm very, very happy to have that white. As you could see in the first video or the first clip, that black is epic. It's a great black eyeshadow, and I definitely got a little fallout from the black, but you saw how I was going in with it like a crazy person. So I should have gotten all fallout from using that much of any eyeshadow. But overall, the mattes do not give a lot of fallout. And in pan, I feel like Opportunity and A Shot. Why don't I just show you? Jeez, I'm a crow. So Opportunity and A Shot. In pan, looking at them online and even in person, I was like, those are very similar. Did we need both? They're actually not that similar on the eye. And if you mix and match a matte or two mattes with a shimmer or two shimmers, you're gonna get a bunch of different looks. Like, I was excited to get the palette, but once I started playing with it, I was like, wow. I mean, it's really, really good. As for the shimmers, so in this video, I discovered that the flakier, I don't know what you want to call them, chunky-ish shimmer shades, like Twist of Fate and Now Is the Time, work really well on an eyeshadow packing brush made of natural bristles. Now, if that's not your idea of a good time, your finger is the best way to go. I really tried to get The Time Is Now on with a brush. I don't like using my finger for eyeshadows, like at all. So I did because I really kind of had to. It wasn't looking all that great, and applying it wet didn't work like most shimmer shades do. And as it dried, it looked really not cute. Like later on in the day, my eyelids are super textured and super wrinkly. Like I'm 46. These suckers have been lived in. So like you can see the texture on my lids. I'm fine with that. It's texture. Again, 46. But this, you could see, like, have you ever seen, I don't know, images of the desert when, not like the desert where there's dunes, but like where the water has just evaporated, it's all cracked and weird looking? That's what my eyelid looked like. So 100% do not recommend wetting the shade and applying it like that. But based on today's application of the green shade, which I could be wrong, but I think the green one and the orange one are the same formula or freakishly close. I think I'll be able to apply it with the brush. I'm very excited about that. As for, we have Promise and Anticipation, Venture, and Risk. These shimmers are beautiful. I love them. They are so nice. This shade right here, Venture, I don't know if you could see it in the video. I was like, what? It looked so good, so cool. I didn't know what to expect because in pan it looks like black eyeshadow with a shimmer, which never looks the way I want it to on my eyelid. But this has like green and orange. It's gorgeous. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite shade. Wow, apparently we're getting a storm right now out of nowhere. My favorite shade in the palette, but I love that shade like a lot and want to find ways to wear it as much as I can. It's so good. But I mean, there's no bad eyeshadow in here. I was feeling some kind of way about the green and the orange because I didn't love the method of application I had to use. But now I'm excited because I don't have to use my finger. I can use that brush. So it's, I mean, this is a winner palette in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, Steph is like my friend of a friend. And I was given this palette, but I don't lie ever at all about anything. I will be kind because I can't not be. Holy moly! Sorry, but the storm is crazy. Like the leaves are going, the rain is going sideways. Oh, I'm surrounded by trees. I always wonder if a tree branch comes down through the roof. Hopefully it doesn't happen on camera. It looks like it's moving out. Okay. Oh, Cat must be freaking out. He hates storms. But there's no thunder, so maybe he's okay. Anyway, okay. Stop it. Cheese and crow. That was the whole thing. All I can be is sorry. I love a storm. So long as I'm inside and safe. So overall, I think this palette is fantastic. If you were thinking about picking it up, I say go for it. Steph, you did a knockout job. I suspect you're watching this because it's your brand. Your heart and soul and everything that is you is in this palette, clearly. And if you know Steph, she likes colorful, like wild, amazing looks and does them regularly. So I feel like she would have had to really love the formula and the shades in this to have put it together and put it on the market, because she definitely prefers color and fun. So I don't know. I really, really like every look that I did. And yeah, I know I keep saying it, but boy howdy, it's true. It's so good. Definitely a winner in my book. I'm so glad I have it. Okay, real quick, what's on my face? My blush is this little elf blush because I underpainted. I know there's a name. If you've been here for a minute, you know. I can't read it without my reading glasses. My bronzer is missing in action, but it's the Tantour in light. Yes, my blush topper, because I wanted a little bit more. I went in with a heavy hand on the powder foundation because I used the wrong shade, so then I had to fix it. But I'm using my Unearthly Spring Magic palette because Dawn browbeat me into it today. I'm just kidding. She said she broke it back out and was going to use it because she had been neglecting it. And I said, I'm going to use it today too because same. So I used the shades Alchemy, which is this orangey one, and then Familiar, which is this pink one. This felt like the right blush palette to use with the Chance palette. So I did that, and my highlight is the Odin's Eye in Moon Talk. It's like the translucent, oh hey, that looks really green. Translucent multi duo chromey. I like it a lot. I think it's fun. So that's on like my nose, my cheekbones, and my brow bone. My lip, or my Cupid's bow, is the Jaclyn Hill. My lip liner is the Dominique Cosmetics in Brown Sugar, and my lip gloss balm thingy is the Funky Juvia's Place one that made me not be able to think for a while because it was so like cooling and weird. I really like it. I'm glad I'm using it again. So anyway, let me know what you think of the palette. If you are a fan of Steph, if you picked up the palette, if you were thinking about it, if you skipped because it's just not your idea of a good time, all of those things are totally awesome. So hopefully you liked this or found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.